Welcome. I'm Carrie Decker. Let's talk about why political correctness is so dangerous. For many people, political correctness is just an annoyance, a nuisance that invades more and more of our daily lives. But political correctness is much more than a nuisance. It's a real danger to your personal and religious freedoms. Let me explain. The other day I created a meme that read, "We live in an era of moral relativism, but absolute political correctness, which relentlessly passes moral judgments." Political correctness with its moral absolutes is a danger to free society. Despite claims to the contrary, political correctness is not just about politics, it's about morality. And it's about an absolute version of morality that's more extreme and dogmatic than any that I've ever witnessed in the church. It's this dogmatism that makes political correctness so dangerous. Back in the day, political correctness was rather benign. It started off as kind of a live and let live philosophy, and particularly with respect to sex. You have your beliefs and I have mine. Who are you to judge? Was a favorite slogan back then. And the favorite Bible verse of the politically correct back then was, "Judge not, lest ye be judged." The politically correct don't bother citing the Bible much anymore, except to disparage it. The great irony of this nouveau political correctness is that it's rife with judgment. So much for "judge not, lest ye be judged." The politically correct pass judgments all the time. Consider how this morally dogmatic version of political correctness operates. Take any issue, say for instance, marriage equality or gender identity. The new zealots of political correctness approach this topic, for that matter, any topic, with this dogmatic stance. I'm right, you're wrong, and you're not only wrong, but you're bad, really, really bad, and for believing what you do, and maybe even dangerous. So you better agree with me or you'll be silenced. Such intolerance by the politically correct is dangerous, and their efforts to silence those who don't think like them is even more dangerous. They employ all sorts of tactics to accomplish their goal. They'll shame and castigate you. They'll vilify you and call you names like racist, homophobe, Islamophobe, xenophobe, or whatever. And they'll try to intimidate you, sometimes with legal action. Just ask Jack Phillips, the Colorado baker, who was sued for refusing to bake a cake for a gay wedding. Come on, like there weren't any other bakeries in town. Others have lost their livelihoods. Bullies is what they are, and that's what makes them so dangerous. If I remember right, once it was not politically correct to bully others, but now it's okay as long as you're doing it in the name of political correctness. Recently, I read a USA Today article about Mark Duplass, some B-rate actor, who tweeted, "Fellow liberals, if you're interested at all in crossing the aisle, you should consider following at Ben Shapiro." Duplass wrote, "I don't agree with him on much, but he's a genuine person who once helped me for no other reason than to be nice. He doesn't bend the truth. His intentions are good." Now, I'm not interested in defending Ben Shapiro. That's not my point. But I am interested in what happened next. Social media erupted into a firestorm of criticism against Duplass, so he tweeted out an apology, saying in part, so that tweet was a disaster on many levels. I want to be clear that I in no way endorse hatred, racism, homophobia, xenophobia, or any other such form of intolerance. Now, I didn't know that Ben Shapiro endorsed such things either. Duplass went on to say, "I'm really sorry. I now understand that I need to be more diligent and careful." He sounds truly contrite, nothing like a good rap on the knuckles with the social media ruler to keep a person in line. Mob morality rules on social media, and that's what makes political correctness dangerous. I'm wondering, how did these zealots become the arbiters of what's right in our society? Who appointed them as judges to rule over public opinion? Moral values and duties are established in one of three ways: by divine revelation, not a popular idea; by natural law, I'm not talking scientific law, I'm talking about the moral law that, according to Romans 2:15, is written on the heart of everyone, unless it's rubbed out through persistent wrongdoing. Or the third way to establish moral values and duties is by sheer political power. This third rail is what politically correct extremists want to seize. After all, it's their only hope. They deny divine revelation and reject natural law. All that's left is political power to establish and enforce their version of moral values and duties. Once they grasp this third rail and control it, they will exert their will with zeal. Be warned, this is the real danger behind political correct thinking. When political power becomes the basis for moral values and duties, now hear me, when political power becomes the basis for moral values and duties, then it's a short step to totalitarianism. History has taught us that lesson repeatedly. Hitler, Stalin, Lenin, Pol Pot, Mao, and Castro, to name a few. They seized the third rail of shaping moral values and duties for society through political power, and millions paid the price. History teaches that there's a direct link between political correctness and oppression. But history also teaches us that we usually don't learn from history. That's why we repeat it so often. I shudder to think. Don't be fooled. Political correctness is a form of moral absolutism that's much more than a mere annoyance. It's the enemy of free speech, it's the enemy of free thought, and it's the enemy of the free exercise of religion in the public square. And that's why political correctness is so dangerous. I'm Kerry Decker. Thanks for listening.